I'm Jameson Roberts, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Biktrix XD Founders Edition. This bike is an absolute beast. It's as fast as it is gorgeous. We'll start off and we're going to go over some of the kind of main components and some of the upgrades I did on this. And it's a bit windy out here, so hopefully you can hear me all right. So to start off, the frame is made in Wisconsin, USA. Very high quality frame and very sturdy. The battery on this is a 60 volt, 20 amp hour battery. So it's got a lot of power here. It is 1200 watt hours. And that 60 volt battery is powering this awesome, super powerful Biktrix in-house designed XD 3000 watt motor. That motor will take this bike up to over 42 miles per hour from my testing, which I believe is around 67.9 kilometers per hour. It's extremely fast. And as you notice here on this side, there is a really heavy duty chain for the drive side, as well as a normal bike chain or e-bike chain on the right side for your gear and cassette side. The reason why there's two chains on this is because the power from the motor is actually being delivered from the drivetrain side on the left, which is a heavy duty chain that can handle the massive amount of torque and power that this motor can deliver. Over on the right side, with your normal chain, you can still shift through all your gears and ride it like a normal bike. It has a torque sensor on here, so the harder that you pedal and push on those cranks, the more power the motor will deliver, and that's based on the pedal assist level that you're in, on how much power it will kick out for that. And so that also means that this bike can be driven kind of like a motorcycle without pedaling if you choose to. Even though it is a mid-drive, with using the throttle on the bike, which I have the right hand half twist throttle, which I really love. Using the throttle, you can just go from a complete stop and twist your throttle all the way and get from 0 all the way up to over 42 miles per hour on this without pedaling or ever shifting gears. So the drive side works independently of your geared chain side. I did upgrade to the 11-speed SRAM NX drivetrain and derailleur. Stock, it comes with a 9-speed SRAM. I like having the extra gears, even though with this bike you don't technically need them. With the throttle, I just like having those gears there, and like the NX derailleurs. So I did make that upgrade. The range on this bike is supposedly around 30 miles. Still working on different range tests for this, depending on the different pedal assist levels. But I'm hoping to get at least 30, maybe 35 miles out of this. You can buy an extra Dorado battery for these, which start around $1,000 for the battery itself. But you can carry it on the rear rack. The rear rack that comes with this can hold 25 kilograms or about 50 pounds. So sufficient rack there. It does have a nice metal rear fender on here as well. So really nice and sturdy, fits well, and doesn't make a whole lot of noise there. For the front suspension on this, I did upgrade to the Ren 150 millimeter inverted suspension fork. I have this same suspension fork on all 3 of my Biktrix e-bikes and absolutely love it. It has 2 air chambers, a top and a bottom air chamber on these. You can fill it at the top or at the bottom to adjust your dampening and suspension feedback. It does have a lockout on the top here, so you can kind of do varying levels of lockout or a full lockout for riding on the road to get a little more efficient there. and it has some damper adjustments on the bottom there. It comes with carbon fiber bash guards, which is great. It keeps that lower part of the fork that is exposed free from, branches and things like that getting in there and scratching it, or even just dust, for keeping that clean there. I went with the 26 by 4 Kenda Juggernaut tires. These are 30 TPI, so these are the heavier casing on here, but it should last quite a while. I got the red anodized rims on here. I did request those specifically as I really love the look of those on the white frame with the red decals. The bike also comes with a 2000 lumen Armageddon headlight, which was designed in-house at Biktrix. This provides you a nice wide beam of light as you're riding, and it is powered by your battery system here, so you do not have to recharge this, which is great. So that can be turned on with your little controller here as you're night riding, and provides a decent light. If you're looking for a light that casts a very long beam, you might want to add on an additional light here that has a more focused beam, as this is a wide beam. So as you get going really fast, it's not casting the light out quite far enough for the speed that you can get going on this. So I might upgrade or add on an additional light at some point with that. It also comes, in addition to that headlight, it comes with a wired rear tail light. It's not a brake light because it does not indicate if you're braking. It just lights up constant as you're riding for visibility at night. This is mounted to the rear fender. So if you were to take the rear fender off, you do not really have a good place to mount that, except maybe on the back of your seat post or something. For the brakes on this, I did upgrade to the Magura MT5 e-brakes, which are about the best brakes you can get on an e-bike. They are quad piston hydraulic brakes, and I really love the feel of them as far as the compression you get, and the stopping power is fantastic on these. For the brakes, we have a 203 millimeter rotor up front and a massive 220 millimeter rotor, I believe it is, in the back. So that gives you some great stopping power at these fast speeds. So at the speed that this bike goes, I highly recommend upgrading the components on it, not just the brakes, but also for a smoother ride, get the Ren suspension. I also did put a Ren hub in the rear here. Typically, you really want those on mid-drives that have a lot of torque because you can tear the hub out with the torque from the chain side. So upgraded to that just to have a nice solid component on there. I also, being that this is a hardtail, I purchased this outside of Biktrix, but the Redshift shock stop suspension seat post. As you can see, this gives you some nice cushion and suspension with this hardtail when you're riding on the roads to kind of absorb some of that impact. The LCD display controller on this bike is very nice. It has a color screen that's going to show your battery percentage, your power level, and all the standard things like your speed, your trip distance, trip odometer. You can reset that stuff, your max speed, all that kind of good stuff. So it's pretty easy to read in the sunlight. Even with my polarized glasses, that hasn't been a problem. For my front fork, you'll see I did wrap it in a glossy holographic red carbon fiber vinyl wrap just to tie it together with the kind of red anodized wheels and the red logo decals on the bike, and it looks pretty slick and has a nice light reflection property there, and looks kind of 3D.